First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. What a start out there today. We had all the flooding across East Alabama. Check it out, our network of First Alert Weather Watchers, some select reports, and there goes Tania. Over 4.5 inches of rain showing up there for Bobby Rowe in Pell City, and just under 3/4 of an inch of rain in Jemison, and almost 1.5 inches of rain there from Smoke Rise. Tania, she wanted to jump in and give a reaction because I'm telling you what, you don't see rain totals like that, 24-hour totals, and that show up on the rain gauges. The radar estimates showing over 6.5 inches of rain in some areas around Springville. In fact, there's a couple of spots in here where the radar I was noticing was picking up over 7 inches of rain here in parts of St. Clair County. So next big thing, First Alert weekend storms will be coming back, returning later on tonight and into tomorrow morning. As far as the evening plans go, it looks like we are going to stay mainly dry here with readings in the 70s, and then after midnight tonight we need to be alert for the possibility of maybe a couple of storms there popping up during the afternoon tomorrow and then again on Sunday. Will we see storms tomorrow morning? Well, the possibility that they will start developing to the northwest and moving in, but I don't think the coverage is going to be quite as intense as what we saw earlier today. So be alert for maybe some storm activity, more isolated tomorrow morning, but certainly more widely scattered into the afternoon. Notice those highs back in the low 90s. And then late tomorrow night and Sunday morning, we could see some more storms. That's why I put AM storms on Sunday. It could start out a bit active there, but we're kind of timing out these waves of storms, this active northwest flow pattern here that we've been in over the weekend. And it looks like the stormy weather is going to carry over into the back to school week. Maybe you're doing a little back to school shopping for this weekend. So we'll try to get into those specifics on rain chances. But coming up here on Weather Extra, we'll have the 7-day forecast, and we've got a special guest in house from Fox Weather, Jason Frazier, joining us, Mickey's Weather Kid of the Week, and we're looking back at the storms in Gadsden yesterday, and of course all of that flooding that happened earlier in parts of Blount County. Stay with us, you're watching Weather Extra.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The First Alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day, Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm your First Alert meteorologist, Tania Michelle, and you know what day it is. It's Friday, I should say. And joining us today on this segment of Mickey's Weather Kid is a special guest. Stick around, and you're about to meet Taylor Biddle.
Hey, we have Taylor Biddle here. She's our weather kid today. And I understand that you also, are you in a chess club?
Yeah.
So she told us earlier on that she makes straight A's without studying just due to the fact that You memorize?
Yes, just memorizing.
And how long you been in the chess club?
I've been in like for a couple of months, and
You got a scholarship to a chess camp?
yeah, chess camp.
What do you do there?
We played chess. We went on a trip once. We went to a school that's not our school, and we battled them.
Yeah.
I didn't win most of them.
But you just been doing it a couple of months, right?
Yeah, it's great.
You love it?
Yes, I love it.
You got to think, really.
I'm loving it.
Loving it. All right.
Yeah, loving it.
All right, Taylor. Point out. Let me turn you this way.
All right.
Point to a few cities and tell me the temperature.
All right. This is Birmingham.
Yeah.
73. Jasper.
Yeah.
72. Columbia 75,
yeah.
and then Hayville. Wait, how do I?
Haleyville.
Hayville 70.
70 degrees. Now, what do we think is happening? Let me borrow you again. At about noontime today. What's going on? What's the temperature?
So right here it's gonna be 82 degrees, and it's
60?
and 60%.
Rain.
Yeah.
Here, let's look this way. See if it's easier. And what's the high today?
It is 88% today.
80% chance of rain.
Yes.
And what's the high?
88.
Very, very good.
And then 80% of thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, I got you.
Right here.
Yes, that's all right. Yeah,
All right.
have fun with that hand.
Ooh, that's what I like.
Yeah. Kids, if you want to do the weather with me, just tell your you don't have to make straight A's. You don't even have to be in the chess club. But tell your mom or dad, and they go online at WBRC.com. There's a drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner when you go there. Look for Good Day Alabama and Mickey's Weather. Kids, they've got to be between the ages of 5 and 12 to enter. And every kid who's picked gets an AmFirst Visa gift card for $25. What you going to do with that, you know?
I'm going to go to Books A Million and get books.
Oh,
Because I love reading.
I got that impression. Smart little weather kid right here. All right, let's.
Oh my gosh, that was such a great interview. Taylor had so much energy, but I do want to switch over and talk about all the showers and storms that we saw throughout the week, especially in parts of Blount County that was hit hard by all the heavy rain. Radar estimates put the total of rainfall near 6 inches in Oneonta. Our Russell Jones has more from Blount County.
Well, we want to show you some of the damage that we're talking about here in Oneonta. You can see the parking lot here just completely ripped up. Pavement everywhere. Really shows you the power of that floodwater. But check out this dumpster right here. This thing was about 100 yards that way, and now it's on top of itself, just lying in a bunch of debris, a bunch of pavement. That's the kind of damage they suffered last night. It all started around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. They estimate about 5 to 6 inches hit Blount County. Some areas south of here got 7 inches last night. The floodwaters were so bad, in fact, they had to perform 2 water rescues. 4 people had to be taken out of cars. We're told that they're doing okay, but we spoke to the public safety manager here at Oneonta, and he's just frustrated when people drive in those floodwaters.
When you see, especially during a raining event, when you see a police officer with their lights on, fire apparatus with their lights on, or even public works vehicles with those safety lights on, they're there for a reason. Everyone's trying to keep you safe. So if you try to go around those vehicles, if you try to go around those barricades, understand those are there for a reason to protect you.
The public safety director also told us that as far as today goes, they're still going to drive around, try to assess all the damage, but they really want to wait for all of that rain to stop. They want to be safe, and then crews are going to come in here and start this big cleanup process. Reporting in Oneonta, Russell Jones, WBRC Fox 6 News, on your side.
And sadly, Blount County wasn't the only place affected. Gadsden, too. WBRC has confirmed that some of the people injured in last night's storms were in the area of the world's longest yard sale. They were trying to escape the storms in their cars when they were trapped by trees or debris. The city is continuing cleanup from the weather. And as storms remain in our forecast throughout the weekend and into next week, other parts of the country endured heavy rains as well. It brought intense flooding to parts of Missouri after severe storms came through their area Thursday morning. It also left many rivers and creeks above level for a second day and hundreds of homes without power. And just to the north of us, the National Weather Service in Memphis recording 10+ inches of rain in the western area of Tennessee, prompting them to declare a flash flood emergency. It caused a mobile home park in Union City to be evacuated by boat after water reached 3 to 4 feet. This rain comes from the same system that impacted our area earlier this morning and late yesterday evening. And it's still Friday, so you know what that means too. Mets Around the World. On this week's installment of Meteorologists Around the World, I'm joined by Cole Vaughn, who is currently a social and behavioral research scientist with NOAA. Cole, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Talk a little bit more about, the process from moving to your bachelor's degree to your master's and to your PhD. I mean, I don't have a lot of people that have that much education under their belt. So do you feel like that foundation has been built for you to succeed in your career today?
Yeah, I do. I think the PhD process was really critical for me to truly learn how to do what I do today. Depending on the person and kind of their maturity level with science and the research process, you could probably get away with just having a master's. NOAA certainly doesn't require that you have a PhD, but it was really helpful for me. I think, so my bachelor's degree was in communications, and that was really, really helpful in understanding, the communication process as opposed to just meteorology. Talking about theory and the ways that we can communicate, not just verbally, but when you think about meteorology, we're using graphics and that's a big one. Especially if you're dealing with TV or social media or something like that, and you can show a graphic, that's at least half the communication process right there. So it was also really helpful too, because I was actually working in broadcast meteorology when I was earning my communications degree, and then also when I was earning my master's in meteorology. So that was really helpful too, to not just have the book learning, but to have the experience along with it and learning how to communicate to the public.
So throughout your journey so far, has there been a time where you had to deal with a major weather event?
Probably one of the biggest would be Hurricane Harvey. I was in South Central Texas at the time. And the center of the storm actually came just within, probably 50 miles or so of me. But by that point, it was moving so slow, it had become a tropical storm. And the main flooding event, what Harvey's kind of known for, was what took place in Houston and Southeast Texas. So that was definitely a big weather event for me, and that was kind of the closest I had ever been to a hurricane, but I wasn't necessarily where the worst of the storm was. And then shortly thereafter, that was in 2017. By 2018, I went and started working as a broadcast meteorologist in the Corpus Christi, Texas market, which is the market where Harvey made landfall. And so I was kind of able to see up close and personal, even a year later, what had happened there. And just the devastation was pretty crazy, especially north of Corpus Christi.
For someone watching who may love the weather but want to get into the communication field of it, what advice would you have for them in pursuing that route?
Learn both. Learn both. You're going to be a better communicator if you know all the meteorology, and you're going to be a better meteorologist if you know how to communicate it. So, pursue both. You don't necessarily have to get, multiple degrees like I did. But do what you can to learn both. Get a lot of experience in a lot of different sectors. Get some experience in the broadcast sector, even if that's not what you want to do. Get some experience in it. Get some experience with the National Weather Service. If you can get some experience with NOAA, great, do it. I also worked as a research assistant when I was at Mississippi State. And so really diversify your portfolio, because it will make you a lot more well-rounded, and I think will serve you a lot better as you're going forward.
Very good advice. What are the parts of your job that you enjoy the most? I know you said you love communicating with people, but what are some of the things that you look forward to in showing up to work every day?
The people are pretty awesome. I love the people I work with. I really found that kind of to be the case with NOAA across the board. So that's really cool. They have a really good culture, working culture, and just a scientific culture too. You know, I like the fact that I can show up and ask questions and, you know, spend time searching for answers. And sometimes that requires, you know, you to go through the research process to answer them. But I would say that's probably one of my favorite is just having the freedom to ask questions. And there's not necessarily a rule on what question you can or cannot ask. And so, you know, to me, that's really exciting. I think also, dealing with people, it's very variable. You know, everybody's going to have a little different perception and interpretation of weather information. And sometimes they can actually be, you know, very big differences in interpretation. And so just working with people and understanding how do they interpret this is always just fascinating to me to see all the different interpretations.
And that was a recorded interview with me and Cole Vaughn, the second part that you saw last week. But coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for a look at that 7-day forecast. And of course, our special guest, a meteorologist from Fox Weather. Stick around after the break to catch some good conversation. We'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back into Weather Extra. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Rain chances elevated through this weekend. More scattered thunderstorms for our Saturday, Sunday. Also back to school next week. Some afternoon storms. Highs close to 90. Overnight lows in the 70s. But what a day out there. We picked up over 6.5 inches of rain. According to some of the radar estimates, First Alert AccuTrack here around Aniana, parts of Blount, St. Clair counties, even had those flood warnings in Coleman County. So I know we're going to be watching that radar closely. However, tomorrow morning, it looks as though the wet weather is going to be more isolated in coverage. However, any storm that pops up will have to be alert for lightning. It's one of those days. We'll catch some breaks. We'll have highs reaching into the low 90s in the hotter locations, and the heat index over 100 tomorrow. So it's going to feel even hotter. We've had the rain. It's humid. It's muggy. Tomorrow night, rain chances back off again. But then by early Sunday, overnight tomorrow night, here comes another round of storms, and we will need to be alert there going in early on Sunday. Okay, next 24 hours tonight. If you have plans, drive for this evening. Out the door tomorrow morning. Again, you can see the high resolution data, and this is just one of many models. It's not showing a lot as far as morning activity goes. That axis that set up earlier today, a little bit of a different story tomorrow morning. We're seeing scattered storms. You can see they're moving in this northwest flow, and then we'll catch some breaks and then stop it right here 4 p.m. Pop-up storms in the afternoon. Again, West Alabama, places in here like Utah, Tuscaloosa, low 90. 90s, heat index 100 to 105. And then we'll need to be alert tomorrow night and then early on Sunday as some more storms could drop in from the northwest direction. But a very active setup over the weekend, and looks like maybe towards the end of next week, I was talking with Tania, we might start to see those rain chances back off there later on in the week around Thursday and into Friday. High temperatures will be topping out in the low 90s with overnight lows in the 70s. The dog days of summer, you know, August typically we start to trend a bit drier, but this has certainly been a stormy setup without any tropical activity. But we're going to be talking a little bit more about weather happenings here coming up, because we have a special guest in house in town for the big conference that's happening in ABJ, Jason Fraser from Fox Weather.
Good to see you, Wes.
Good to see you.
And good to see you as well.
Yes.
You know, I'm excited to be here. And can I tell y'all can eat down here, man. Y'all got some good food down here. You know, I was trying to work on my, you know, my little summer body, and everybody keeps saying, man, are you hungry? You look hungry. Yeah, you look hungry. You good? Okay.
Hey, we can give you the barbecue tour around Birmingham. I'd love to volunteer to do that, right?
Fried chicken too.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, all right. Let me do this. Let me finish losing the 30 or 40 pounds, okay, and then I can come back. Okay,
yes.
All right. Then I can come back.
Stuff you back up.
Well, Brandon, it's all, or Jason, listen to me. I said I was thinking Brandon Fraser.
That's okay.
Right?
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
But
That's right.
Jason, it's so awesome having you here, and you actually at the conference in town. I've heard that you were a part of a big panel talking a little bit about the weather happenings, along with the National Weather Service also participating. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I am the Weather and Climate Task Force Chair of the National Association of Black Journalists. So one of the things that we like to do is we like to bring weather programming to help enlighten not only fellow journalists, but also anchors, reporters, etc. And one of the things that we have been also trying to do is to leverage our partners over the National Weather Service, not only with programming, but also saying how else can we better relate what's happening in our communities. And so Ken Graham, who is a good friend, he said, absolutely, I will come by, I will do a severe weather panel with you. So we talked a lot about what severe weather is and some of the new technology that's going to be debuting over the next couple of years. I'm excited because they were talking about the upgrade to their communication system that, you know, I know a number of us use Weather Chat, you know, whenever we want to communicate with the National Weather Service, but that's being upgraded to Slack. Think of AOL AIM, you remember the old school one? Yeah, that is what's basically going to be coming for everybody, for all the weathercasters, as well as the emergency managers to interact and let us know about all of the dangers in our community.
Very awesome. And so, Jason, you're in New York at Fox Weather.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience and transitioning from living down south, all your experience from meteorology, and now being in New York City and doing a wide range of forecasts or forecasting for the nation. What is that like?
Yeah, so since I've been 5 years old, I wanted to become a meteorologist.
I've heard that story before, right?
Yeah, I know. But you know, it's interesting because, you know, Wes, you know, life has a funny way of making sure that you kind of meander. You know, I always tell people, I'm like, you know, success, you know, kind of looks like this, right?
Yes.
You know, periodically we think that success looks like this, and it doesn't. So,
I wrote a song, by the way, called "No Straight Lines." It's on Spotify. You'll have to check it out.
Okay, all right. That's right. You do a
it's
little. I was reading about that.
Hey, that's what it's all about, the ups and downs. You know, you take the. But go ahead.
Yeah. So with Fox Weather, the cool part about this opportunity was 2 years ago we looked at the entire marketplace and we figured out, hey, wait a minute, there's not a lot of national weather companies that are really focusing on central parts of the United States, like Alabama, like Mississippi, the Southeast, etc. And so, you know, our partners over at Fox News said, hey, wait a minute, there's a huge opportunity to do this. And luckily it came up at a time when, you know, I was looking to come back to New York, which is my hometown. So, but to your point, yes, I worked in Savannah, Georgia, worked in Cleveland, Ohio. So, you know, I'm very familiar with the Southeast.
Yeah, so you get the experience here in Dixie Alley, as they call it.
Yes.
Or maybe this may be Tornado Alley one day, right? You see the research.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
all I can say is you guys know how to do severe weather, okay? You know, and I think that there's a reason why you have the largest weather team in the Southeast, right? And I'm not promoting, I'm just saying that, you know,
true.
they
It's a
have
fact.
a large, I was looking at the promos and I was like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wow, okay. It's like, wow, okay, all right, you guys love your weather down here, okay? That's a good thing.
And we have frequent weather, but you know that's what it takes when you have as much, whether it's hurricane season, tornado season, even sometimes you know we have our fair share of winter weather here across Alabama as well. But I got to tell you, Jason, I heard you were coming today, so I decided to get a haircut today.
Okay,
You know, I want
it looks
to
good.
make
It
sure.
looks good, Wes. I didn't notice, but it looks good.
Well, I'm sitting there, I'm getting my hair cut, and I'm not going to name a name. It wasn't the person cutting my hair, but I heard someone say, I haven't checked the weather forecast, or I didn't check the weather forecast. And I can't tell you how many times I will talk to someone and say, you know, there's a threat of severe weather tomorrow. Well, I didn't realize that. And going throughout the community, I think today, in today's society, we have all these different avenues, whether it's streaming, whether it's the YouTubes, the TikToks, and everything, so much that grabs our attention. You know, when I grew up, you sat down, you flipped on the TV, you watched the local news at supper time, right? And I think it's important from an entire weather enterprise standpoint that we do get back to, you know, at least checking the weather, being weather aware. I mean, what would you add to that?
Sure. I mean, and I think this is the all-important reason why you need to have multiple ways of getting severe weather alerts, right? I tell people all the time, it's just not important to have one app. You need to have multiple apps because depending on where you are, you know, sometimes one app may malfunction, sometimes because of the cell service, one app may not, you know, work here. So obviously we want you to download, you know, the WBRC app, right? Okay. We also want you to also download the Fox Weather app because, you know, sometimes what will happen is you'll travel outside of your area, right? And you may not realize that as you're traveling into that area that, oh, wait, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. You know, a lot of people, even at the conference, you know, that I'm at right now, did not realize that we were under a severe thunderstorm watch yesterday as that line was moving through there. And they looked outside and they were like, wait, why are there trees moving back and forth? You know, and I was like, well, that's because we have a nice little line that's going to be moving through. I mean, we saw some of those wind gusts yesterday, you know, so of course, as a meteorologist, I'm looking up, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go.
Good luck trying to get you to pay attention, right?
But thankfully, nobody was hurt. So, I mean, that's of course a good thing. And then, of course, you know, we saw what happened earlier today, north and east of the city, you know, with all of the flooding here. So, you know, this is why, you know, we often say, you know, stay weather aware, know, you know, what's happening in your community because literally, you know, with Mother Nature, it can be, you know, a 5-minute drive down the road and then, you know, hey, that could be the difference between you seeing sunshine and you potentially, you know, seeing some flooding here. The other thing I'll say, and the last thing I'll say is, you know, these weather events, I mean, they're happening more and more here. And, you know, I'm not going to delve into why they're happening here, but what I can say is because they're becoming more severe, more intense, what's unfortunately going to be happening is everybody is impacted by weather here. It doesn't matter where you come from, so you need to always make sure that you stay weather aware.
That's great information. And Tania, I got to give you a big shout out too for helping arrange all this.
Yeah,
so,
of course. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Look, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, you're not going to have me back anytime.
Okay.
My only requirement is we need to make sure to have some of this barbecue y'all been telling me.
There we go.
That is my only requirement.
Hey, I believe we can overnight some back to New York. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen,
we'll
you
figure it out.
I will make sure to send back some sunshine, okay? I mean, listen.
I want a little bit more snow this Christmas, too.
Be careful, my friend, what you wish for, okay? Because, you know, I will say this. New York City is built, okay?
Just a little, though.
Okay, what's a little? What do you want, like a half of inch?
Just for me to wake up outside and see the grass white.
Don't say dusting. The last time we said dusting, this place was iced over.
I was going to say that. You know, New York City is built to handle, you know, the snow here. You know, I know other places like Alabama, I mean, I hate to say it, you don't have the infrastructure here. So I always become really concerned whenever, you know, and it usually will happen in January where, you know, you get that strong cold front that pushes through there and you're like, wait, we might be able to push out maybe a half of inch of snow here. So careful what you wish for, my friend.
Yeah, we call it the bread and milk alert meter here around Birmingham. You know, when that snow word pops up. We've
Oh,
got
because
the
everybody
little-
goes to Walmart.
Bread
and-
and
and-
yeah,
and
everything's
just-
gone.
Everything's gone, right? Yeah.
Well, listen, so awesome having you here, joining us on First Alert
Thank
Weather
you.
Extra,
Thank you.
and hopefully we can have you back sometime.
Absolutely, yeah.
But coming up, I believe, Tania, over the weekend, is these scattered storms, it looks like you're going to be tracking this over the weekend. Looks
Absolutely.
as though we're going to catch a few breaks out there tomorrow, I think a little bit hotter.
Yes, in the morning, in the evening, we've got a couple of rounds of those scattered showers and storms in the forecast. So we definitely want you to check in tomorrow morning with First Alert meteorologist Fred Hunter. And also with me in the evening. There's no forecast, though. There's no newscast tomorrow and Sunday night because of soccer. But we will be streaming it. So be sure to check in on our streaming platforms, the Roku app, wherever you can find us. Download it and check in with us to get that forecast update.
Yeah, good reminder there, Tania. I know we've got the World Cup that's happening. Of course, the streaming platforms. We're always streaming on our First Alert weather app, so you can check that out. But we'll be back tonight with updates starting at 9 o'clock. Be sure to join us for First at 9 on WBRC Fox 6 News. Have a wonderful weekend.